Welcome to the Book Mind channel. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Great to be here.
And here on the Book Mind, we do deep dive conversations on famous English books. Today, we're getting into one that honestly offers such a profound reframe on money and freedom.
Absolutely. We're talking about Scott Pape's The Barefoot Investor.
Okay, imagine this, if you can. Just picture watching everything you've worked for, everything, your home, your belongings, your sense of security just going up in smoke.
It's almost unthinkable, isn't it?
Completely. But that was Scott Pape's reality. A massive bushfire just tore through his farm. Years of work just gone, turned to ash in hours.
Such a devastating event.
But here's the thing. Driving away from that wreckage, looking back, he apparently whispered, "I understand."
Wow. I understand. In that moment.
Yeah, what could he possibly mean by that in the middle of losing literally everything?
It makes you stop and think. What realization could hit you then?
Well, it seems it was this brutal truth hitting him. Just like real fire can destroy your house, financial disaster can just burn away your peace of mind, your future, if you're not ready for it.
Okay. So that catastrophe wasn't just a loss. It was a catalyst.
Exactly. It forged this whole philosophy he developed, becoming financially fireproof.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how he took that extreme personal tragedy and distilled something so fundamental about financial resilience from it.
Right. It goes beyond just have more money.
Totally. It's not just about the amount of money you have, but the structure of your plan, and crucially, your control over it.
Control. That's key.
Yeah, it's a real shift from focusing on, external stuff, how much you have, to internal strength, building a plan so solid that no crisis, no fire, financial or otherwise, can completely wipe you out.
And that's basically our mission for this deep dive, isn't it?
Exactly. We want to give you that roadmap.
A clear, actionable plan. Something solid that goes way beyond the usual complicated finance jargon or those, get-rich-quick things that often just leave you confused.
Or poorer.
Or poorer, yeah. And the core idea, the metaphor he uses, is actually beautiful. Simple, but really powerful.
The tree analogy.
Yeah, that wealth grows like a tree. You plant a seed, you nurture it patiently, and only then, after time and consistent effort, you get the harvest.
It's Pape's plant, grow, harvest rhythm. And it really underscores that this is a long game. It's about consistency, not flashy, quick wins.
Right. So over this deep dive, we'll walk you through it step by step, setting up his famous money buckets.
Tackling debt with the domino method.
Growing your wealth simply but effectively.
And finally, harvesting that life of, real freedom and security.
And what I love about it is that it's not about deprivation. It's not some strict financial diet where you can't enjoy anything.
No, it's about structure. Giving every dollar a purpose, which surprisingly seems to lead to a richer life, not a poorer one.
Exactly. More meaningful. So get ready because we're diving into the Barefoot Investor. Time to make your money simple, strong, and basically unstoppable.
Plant laying the seeds for financial freedom.
Okay, part one. Plant laying the seeds for financial freedom.
So the very first step Pape recommends. It's not what you'd expect, is it? No spreadsheets, no budget cuts right away.
No, not at all. It's actually quite, human. His first instruction, the foundation for everything else, is this simple ritual, the Barefoot Date Night.
A date night about money.
Exactly. He says carve out dedicated time, once a week for the first 5 weeks, just to get started, and then settle into maybe a monthly thing.
And this is for couples, or?
Both. If you have a partner, you do it together. If you're single, you do it for yourself. It's just about sitting down, talking about money, no blame, no stress, just talking.
That seems so counterintuitive, though. Money talk usually means stress, right?
Yeah.
Arguments, or just avoiding it altogether until something goes wrong. Well, that's the point. Pape argues that making it a regular low-stakes thing completely changes the dynamic. It strips away the stress.
How? Why does that work?
Because it taps into, a need for transparency, shared purpose. When you only talk money in a crisis, it's all fear and blame.
Right, reactive.
Yeah. But do it regularly, proactively. It becomes empowering. For couples, it builds teamwork. You're on the same page, aiming for the same goals, building something together.
And for individuals?
Crucial accountability. It turns those vague ideas like, I should save more, or I need to deal with that debt, into actual concrete actions. Because you've scheduled time to focus on it.
And he insists it's a date, not a chore. Make it enjoyable.
Yeah, grab some takeaway, open a bottle of wine, make it something you actually look forward to, not dread. It sounds simple, but it's the non-negotiable cornerstone of the whole system.
Okay, but what about someone who feels like, I'm doing okay, I don't need this. What's the immediate payoff? That's where April Mack's story comes in, right?
Absolutely. April's story is perfect here because she wasn't in dire straits. She earned a good income, lived comfortably.
But wasn't saving anything.
Exactly. She admitted she never saved a cent. Stuck in that common trap, good income, but living paycheck to paycheck because spending just expands. Lifestyle inflation.
So what happened when she started the Barefoot Steps, including the date nights?
Her life completely changed. It's quite dramatic, actually.
How so? What did she achieve?
Okay, get this. Within a pretty short time, she completely wiped out a $30,000 personal loan. That's huge.
Wow, okay.
And at the same time, she saved another $30,000 for home renovations. So improving her asset without more debt.
That's impressive. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. She started traveling with her family, which they hadn't done much before. She built up a $16,000 stock portfolio. And critically, she established a solid emergency fund.
Now, the obvious question people might ask is, was she just miserable, saving every penny, never going out?
That's what you'd think. But she insists, no. She spent money when she wanted to. The key wasn't sacrifice.
It was structure.
Exactly. Structure, not sacrifice. Giving every dollar a job. Knowing where your money is going frees you up, paradoxically. It's not restrictive. It's empowering.
Which leads perfectly into the next big step, setting up those famous buckets. 1.2, set up your buckets. A visual, guilt-free spending system.
Right. So after you've got the communication habit down with the date nights, Pape tackles budgeting, but not in the way most people dread.
Yeah, because traditional budgets, they often feel like diets, don't they? Full of restrictions, guilt, doomed to fail.
Precisely. Pape recognized that. They focus on what you can't do, what you can't have. So resentment builds, and eventually you just give up.
So what's his alternative? The buckets.
The buckets. Simple, visual, powerful, just 3 main buckets, each with a really clear purpose. The idea is your money flows where it needs to, automatically, without you having to track every single coffee.
Okay, let's break them down. Bucket number 1, the blow bucket. Sounds fun.
It kind of is. This covers your everyday life. Pape suggests around 60% of your take-home pay goes here.
60%? For what exactly?
All the essentials. Groceries, rent or mortgage, utilities like electricity and gas, phone bills, transport, the stuff that keeps life ticking over.
But he doesn't stop there, does he? Within that 60%, there are specific pots for things that aren't strictly essential.
This is the genius part, I think. He builds in guilt-free spending. He knows denial doesn't work long-term.
So what are these pots?
Okay, so within that blow bucket allocation, he suggests maybe 10% for splurging. That's your fun money, guilt-free. Buy the gadget, go out for dinner, whatever. It's meant to be spent.
10% for splurging. Nice. What else?
Another 10% for travel or experiences. Dedicated funds for holidays, weekends away, concerts, whatever recharges you and creates memories. It's proactively funding joy.
Okay, so that's 20% accounted for within the blow bucket for fun and experiences. What about the rest of that 60% allocation?
Right, so after essentials and those 2 fun pots, the remaining amount within that 60%, often around 20% of your total income, goes into a really critical pot.
The one that links back to his fire experience.
Exactly, the fire extinguisher account. This is your immediate buffer for unexpected shocks.
Like what?
Car breaks down suddenly, roof starts leaking, unexpected medical bill, the boiler packs in. Instead of panicking or reaching for a credit card,
You use the fire extinguisher money.
precisely. It's there specifically to put out the flames of those unforeseen costs. It stops small problems turning into big financial emergencies. Proactive protection.
Brilliant name. Brilliant concept. Okay, that's the blow bucket, handling daily life and small emergencies. What's the second main bucket?
The second one is the Mojo bucket. This is different. Think of this as your financial fortress, your core security fund.
Okay, a fortress. And the key instruction here is unusual. Put it in a separate bank.
Yes, deliberately. A bank you don't use for everyday stuff. Why?
Yeah.
To create friction, a psychological barrier.
Make it harder to dip into impulsively.
Exactly. If it's sitting right there in your main banking app, the temptation is too high. Separate bank, separate login. It makes you pause and think, do I really need this? It protects its purpose as a true safety net.
Clever bit of behavioral finance there. And the first goal for this Mojo account is specific. Get $2,000 in there. Fast.
Yes. That initial $2,000, Pape is emphatic. Do whatever it takes. Borrow from family if you have to. Sell stuff you don't need. Cut back hard for a short period. Get that seed money in place.
Why is that specific amount, $2,000, so important? it doesn't sound huge in the grand scheme of things.
It's not about the amount being huge. It's about what it represents. It's your immediate financial oxygen.
Financial oxygen.
Yeah. With $2,000 saved, you can face a small emergency, a bigger bill, a minor repair with calm, not panic. You can breathe. It stops you resorting to debt for minor setbacks.
Ah, okay. It breaks that cycle.
Exactly.
Right.
And Scott's own experience after the fire really hammered this home. He realized that possessions didn't matter nearly as much as moments, experiences, peace of mind. That $2,000 buys you that immediate peace, lets you focus on what's really important.
It really reframes wealth, doesn't it? From stuff to stability and experiences. But what if getting even that first $2,000 feels impossible?
Pape acknowledges that. His advice is just focus. Make it your absolute priority number one. Pause other savings goals temporarily. Sell that old bike, the game console, clothes you don't wear. Cut ruthlessly for a few weeks. The momentum you gain from hitting that first target is huge. It makes the whole thing feel real.
Okay, so blow bucket for daily life, Mojo bucket for security. What's the third one?
The third is the grow bucket. This is the engine for long-term wealth. This is where the real future building happens.
So investments, retirement, that kind of thing.
Precisely. Money here isn't for today's emergencies like the Mojo. It's for your future self, 10, 20, 30 years down the line.
And this is where that apple tree analogy really fits, right? Planting seeds for the future.
Absolutely. Every contribution to the grow bucket is like planting another seed. It won't fruit immediately, but slowly, steadily, with patience and consistency, it grows. Compound interest starts working its magic.
Making you wealthier over time, quietly.
Yeah. It reinforces that wealth building is usually a marathon, not a sprint. These three buckets, blow, mojo, grow, they're simple but profoundly effective. They give every dollar a job, turning vague intentions into concrete, guilt-free action. 1.3. Domino your debts. Breaking free from the chains.
That bucket system provides such a great foundation. But okay, let's be real. Lots of people are carrying debt. Credit cards, loans. It can feel overwhelming. So the next step in Plant is crucial. Domino your debts.
It really is, because debt can feel like chains holding you back, and Pape really highlights the credit card trap specifically.
Yeah, he tells Johnny's story. So relatable.
Isn't it? Gets his first card, small limit, seems harmless, maybe for emergencies. But then, convenience takes over. Swipe here, swipe there, minimum payments, limits creep up.
And suddenly that $2,000 limit is $15,000 of debt at like 20% interest, and he feels completely stuck.
Exactly. It's the classic bank strategy. Lure with convenience, chain with high interest. They make it easy to get into debt, hard to get out.
So if you're serious about freedom, Pape says the very first act is symbolic but powerful.
Get the scissors out. Cut up the credit card. Don't just hide it. Destroy it. Remove the temptation entirely.
It's a statement, isn't it? I'm done with this.
It's a psychological break, a declaration of independence.
Okay, card destroyed. What's next? The actual domino strategy. How does that work?
First, absolute honesty. You need to list every single debt you have.
Every single one. Even the money owed to Uncle Bob.
Everything. Credit cards, store cards, personal loans, car loans, student loans, payday loans, money owed to family or friends. Get it all down on paper. Stare it in the face. You can't fight what you can't see.
Okay, face the monster. Then what?
And then you set a bold goal. Pape suggests aiming to clear all debts, except your mortgage, within a specific time frame, maybe 18 months.
18 months? That sounds intense. Why so ambitious?
It creates urgency, focus. It turns someday I'll pay this off into I will pay this off by this date. It lights a fire under you. Makes it a mission, not a vague wish.
Got it. List debts. Set ambitious goal. Next step involves dealing with the banks.
Yep. Call them. Negotiate. Tell them you're shopping around. Mention competitors offering 0% balance transfers or lower rates. Ask them to match it or lower your current rate.
Can you really do that?
Absolutely. They want to keep your business. They might not give you everything, but even a small reduction in interest makes a difference. You have more power than you think, especially if you hint you might leave.
Okay, negotiate rates. Now, the actual paying off part. Pape famously advocates tackling the smallest debt first, right? Not the highest interest one.
That's right. It's often called the debt snowball method versus the debt avalanche, which focuses on interest rates.
Why the snowball? Mathematically, isn't the avalanche better? Saves more money.
Mathematically, yes, usually. But Pape understands psychology. Paying off that first smallest debt, maybe it's only a few $100s, gives you a massive psychological win.
A quick victory.
Exactly. A surge of confidence. Proof that you can do this. That feeling of crossing one debt off the list is incredibly motivating. It builds momentum that carries you through the bigger, tougher debts later. That momentum is often worth more than the few extra dollars saved via the avalanche method.
That makes so much sense. Keep the motivation high. Can the fire extinguisher account help here, that emergency pot?
It can. Pape says being buried in high-interest debt is a financial emergency. So technically, yes, you could use the fire extinguisher funds to accelerate debt repayment.
But ideally.
Ideally, you attack the debt using funds freed up from your blow bucket by cutting expenses, or maybe earning extra income. You want to keep the fire extinguisher primarily for unexpected external shocks if possible, but it's there as a backup if needed.
And when you do pay off a debt, even a small one.
Celebrate. Not by going into more debt, obviously, but do something meaningful. A nice meal at home, a day out you wouldn't normally do. Acknowledge the win. It reinforces the positive behavior and fuels you for the next domino.
Knocking them down one by one.
Until the last one falls. Imagine that day. The final payment made. Those chains just disappear. The feeling of lightness, knowing your income is truly yours again.
That's the moment, Pape says. You step barefoot into financial independence. What a powerful goal.
Grow, nurturing your wealth for the future.
Okay, so the debts are domino, the buckets are set up, the ground is prepared. Now we move into part 2. Grow, nurturing your wealth for the future. And the first big step here for many is buying a home.
Right. Step 4. Buy your home. A foundation for life, not a burden. And Pape really emphasizes the emotional side of this, doesn't he? It's more than just bricks and mortar.
Totally. It's about belonging, stability, comfort, creating memories, that sense of place. It's deeply emotional for most people.
But he quickly follows that with a big warning. Don't rush, don't overstretch, because the dream can easily become a nightmare of financial burden.
The mortgage trap. So how does he advise approaching it safely so it builds freedom, not stress?
His main rule is about the deposit. Aim to save at least a 20% deposit based on your take-home pay.
20%. Why that specific number?
2 main reasons.
Yeah.
Firstly, usually you avoid paying lender's mortgage insurance, or LMI, which is basically insurance for the bank that you pay for. It's dead money. Secondly, having 20% equity from day one puts you in a much stronger, safer financial position.
And where does this deposit money come from?
Remember the fire extinguisher account from the blow bucket? That 20% of your income. Once debts are gone and your immediate emergency buffer feels okay, this becomes your house deposit savings engine. You funnel that money steadily towards your 20% goal.
And he suggests making that goal really visible, right? Calculate how many months it'll take, write it down, stick it on the fridge.
Yeah, make it real. A countdown to freedom keeps you focused.
How about speeding it up? Any tips beyond just saving that 20% consistently?
He encourages creative sacrifices. Think outside the box, but remember it's temporary. Could you move somewhere cheaper for a year? Maybe even back with family if that's an option? Or take on extra work. Freelancing, weekend job. For couples, maybe try living off just one income for a while and saving the entire second income. Short-term pain for a massive long-term gain owning your own home with less stress.
Okay, so saving the deposit is step 1. But the mortgage itself is the bigger potential trap, isn't it? Banks often pre-approve you for huge amounts.
Oh yeah. They'll often lend you the absolute maximum they think you can possibly afford based on their calculations. Pape's advice is blunt. Just because they offer it doesn't mean you should take it.
Why not? Isn't bigger better?
Not if it chains you to decades of stress. Borrowing the max might mean working a job you hate just to make payments, having no room for error, constantly worrying. It dictates your life choices.
So the goal isn't the biggest house on the street.
No. The goal is a home that allows peace of mind. A smaller mortgage on a more modest home, leaving you with breathing room financially, is far wealthier than a mansion that owns you. True wealth is calm, not postcode envy.
And Danielle Eskenazi's story really drives this home. Single mom, admin job, struggled for years. Seemed impossible.
Her story is so inspiring it felt like a fantasy for her. But she found Barefoot, committed to the buckets, built her mojo, paid off debt, and saved that 20% deposit with laser focus. The structure gave her power.
And the result?
By age 31, as a single parent on a modest income, she bought her own home. It shows it's not just about how much you earn, but how disciplined and structured you are.
Incredible. So home ownership is about building a stable foundation that gives you freedom, not weighs you down. The life inside matters more than the price tag. 2.2, supercharge your wealth. Simplicity, patience, discipline.
Exactly. And once that foundation is in place, or even while you're building it, the next growth step is about really accelerating your long-term wealth. Step 5, supercharge your wealth.
Now, a lot of people hear supercharged wealth and immediately think property investment. Buy a rental, watch the cash flow in, prices go up. The dream, right?
Yeah, it's a very common dream, especially in some countries. But Pape throws some serious cold water on it. He urges you to think really critically before jumping into investment properties,
Why the caution?
because it often involves huge debt, ongoing costs, maintenance, insurance, property managers, vacancies, plus it's illiquid, hard to sell quickly if you need the cash. He uses a great comparison to make his point.
The tale of two investors, Jane and Marlene.
That's the one. Let's start with Jane. She chose shares, but super simply.
How simple.
Okay, Jane decided to invest $5,000 a year. Not a huge amount. She put it into an ultra-low-cost diversified index fund, basically buying a tiny slice of the whole market.
How much effort did that take?
A few taps on her phone once a year. Seriously. Reinvesting dividends cost her maybe $19 in fees annually. She just did this quietly, consistently for 10 years. Plant, plant, plant.
Okay, sounds almost boring. Now, contrast that with Marlene, who went the property route.
Right. Marlene jumped in, bought an apartment for nearly $600,000, put down almost $60,000 deposit, plus another $33,000 or so in stamp duty and fees. Big commitment.
Okay, but she rented it out for
Yeah.
income.
Yeah. Got $450 a week rent. Sounds good, right? Over
Right.
$23,000 a year. But then came the costs. Mortgage interest, insurance, council rates, strata fees, maintenance, letting agent fees.
Adds up quickly.
It added up to over $31,000 a year in expenses. So despite the rent coming in, she was actually losing about $8,000 every single year.
Losing money. Ouch. So she was relying on the price going up.
Totally. She'd need massive capital growth, like $100,000 or more, just to break even after 10 years, once you factor in selling costs and taxes. It's a huge gamble.
Wow, that comparison is stark. Jane's simple, low-cost, boring approach versus Marlene's complex, expensive, high-risk venture that was actually losing money year on year.
It really hammers home Pape's core point.
Hmm.
Real wealth is usually built on patience, simplicity, and discipline, not flashy bets or complicated schemes.
So what's his actual advice for supercharging wealth then, if not necessarily property?
Keep it simple. Invest regularly in low-cost, diversified funds, index funds, ETFs, things that track the whole market or large parts of it. You're spreading your risk across many successful companies, not trying to pick winners.
And keep the costs down.
Critically important. Low fees mean more of your money stays invested and working for you through compounding. He recommends specific listed investment companies or index funds available in Australia, but the principle is universal. Broad diversification, low cost.
And the key behavior.
Consistency. Commit to investing a set amount or percentage regularly, like clockwork. And then this is crucial, leave alone. Don't try to time the market. Don't panic sell when things dip. Just keep planting those seeds, dollar cost averaging your way through the ups and downs. Let time do its thing.
That quiet, miraculous work of compound interest.
Exactly. It requires emotional discipline. Trust the process. Pape points out that most genuinely wealthy people actually follow this kind of steady, boring-sounding approach. They avoid high fees, invest consistently, and let it grow in the background while they live their lives.
So supercharging isn't about overnight riches. It's about a simple, reliable system that builds serious wealth over a decade or more.
That's the real secret. Quiet consistency wins the race. 2.3 boost your mojo to 3 months. The ultimate safety net.
Okay, so we're investing simply and consistently in the grow bucket. What's next in the grow phase? It loops back to that safety net, the Mojo account.
Yes. Step 6. Boost your mojo to 3 months. Remember that initial $2,000 seed money? That was just a start. Now the goal gets bigger, much bigger.
What's the new target for Mojo?
Enough cash, sitting safe in that separate bank account to cover 3 full months of your essential living expenses.
3 months worth of expenses. Why that much?
Because that's the point where financial security stops feeling like a concept and starts feeling real. Truly tangible. It's a buffer that can absorb almost any major life shock, losing your job, a serious health issue, needing to care for family. Gives you serious breathing room.
Okay, 3 months. How do you actually build it up to that level? Where does the money come from?
Primarily, it comes from that same engine we use for the house deposit.
Oh.
Fire extinguisher account. That 20% of your income flowing into the blow bucket.
So once debts are gone and maybe the house deposit is saved or well underway, that 20% gets redirected.
Exactly. Its new primary mission becomes bulking up your Mojo account. Month after month, that steady flow builds your fortress brick by brick. Until one day you hit that magic number, 3 months of living costs, safe and sound.
That must feel incredible, like real autonomy.
It's transformative. Pape talks about it being more than just money. It's freedom. It's power.
Power to do what?
power to walk away from a toxic job you hate, from a bad relationship, power to take time off if you need to, without immediate financial panic. It gives you options, choices.
It's the difference between feeling trapped and feeling free.
Absolutely. It's that financial oxygen again. But now you've got a much bigger tank. It allows you to make decisions from a place of strength, not fear or desperation. Peace of mind, basically.
And Leanna Russell's story, the Mojo mom, illustrates this perfectly, doesn't it? Her background was incredibly tough.
Really tough. Childhood scarred by addiction issues in her family, then trapped in a violent relationship herself. Drowning in debt, credit cards maxed, car loans spiraling, just surviving.
Seemed inescapable. But the Barefoot steps changed things?
Dramatically. She committed fully, built the buckets, cut the debts with fierce determination, and relentlessly grew her mojo.
How much did she save?
Eventually, she had over $30,000 sitting in her Mojo account, in her name, safe.
Wow. And
Yeah.
that wasn't just numbers on a screen for her, was it?
Not at all. That money was her escape hatch. It gave her the courage and the means to leave the violent relationship. It gave her protection, security for her and her kids. It gave her peace, knowing they were safe. It literally changed, probably saved her life.
That's the real power of Mojo, then. It's not just savings.
No, it's a shield against life's storms, a cushion that lets you breathe, choose, live without being constantly terrified of the next crisis. 3 months of Mojo isn't just a number. It's freedom from being at the mercy of everything that goes wrong.
Harvest living a life of freedom and purpose.
Okay, so you've planted the seeds, nurtured the growth. Now for part 3, harvest living a life of freedom and purpose. And the first step here sounds intriguing. Get the banker off your back. What does that mean exactly?
It's primarily about rejecting lifestyle inflation, that constant pressure to upgrade, spend more just because you earn more.
The trap that Tom and Mona fell into in his example.
Exactly. Their story is classic. Bought a modest house, but always saw it as temporary. Just a stepping stone to the dream home.
I was chasing the next bigger, better thing.
Yeah. Their incomes grew. Their first house value went up massively in a boom. They sold it, excited. But even that windfall wasn't enough for the real dream home they now pictured.
So what did they do?
Instead of being grateful for their game, they felt disappointed it wasn't more, so they stretched even further. Traded up again, taking on a huge $1 million mortgage.
Oof. $1 million.
Right. So on the surface, they looked successful, good jobs, big impressive house. But behind the scenes,
Stressed. Chained to the bank.
totally. Drowning in debt, unable to feel free. The upgrades never brought contentment, just a heavier burden. That's lifestyle inflation in action. Constantly moving the goalposts.
And Pape contrasts this with how truly wealthy people often live, right?
That's not what you might expect.
Not at all. He points out that most millionaires aren't living in mansions or driving supercars. They're often in ordinary suburbs, driving normal cars. They keep expenses grounded.
How do they build wealth then?
Quietly. Steadily. Pape says 95% of them invest consistently in shares, often low-cost funds. They avoid relying on loans. Many never carry a credit card balance. Their focus is financial independence, not showing off.
But the banks, they actively encourage the opposite, don't they? With all the perks and points and shiny cards. Oh, absolutely. Discounts, travel points, bonus deals. Pape calls them hooks. They're designed to make the bank money, not you. By encouraging you to spend more, stay in debt longer.
His line is blunt. The bank is not your friend.
Yep. Their goal is profit, maximizing shareholder return, not your financial well-being. They're masters at marketing debt and leverage.
So getting the banker off your back means consciously resisting that pressure. Saying no to constant upgrades, ignoring the tempting perks that cost more than they give.
Precisely. It's about choosing financial freedom over keeping up appearances. Living below your means, being debt-free, investing wisely, that's the path to real wealth. Not impressing neighbors or maxing out your borrowing capacity. It's taking back control. 3.2, nail your retirement number. Achievable security.
Taking back control. Love that. Okay, so once the banker's off your back, you can really focus on the long-term harvest retirement. But there's this huge, intimidating number often thrown around.
The $1 million myth. You need $1 million or $2 million to retire comfortably.
Yeah, and for most people, that sounds so impossible. It just makes them want to give up before they even start planning. It's paralyzing.
And Pape tackles that myth head on. He argues you don't necessarily need millions. What you need is a clear, achievable target, a smart plan, and the discipline to hit it.
He calls it the Donald Bradman retirement strategy. After the cricketer.
Yeah, the legendary Aussie batsman. Bradman wasn't about flashy, risky shots. He was about consistent, reliable, high-scoring, building runs steadily. Your retirement should be the same, built on consistency and clear goals, not lottery win hopes.
So what is the achievable number, according to Pape, assuming you followed the earlier steps?
Okay, the absolute foundation is Rule 0. Own your home outright before you retire. Get rid of that massive expense first.
Right. Biggest bill gone. Then what's the investment target?
For your grow bucket investments, he suggests aiming for approximately $250,000 for couples or $170,000 for singles.
Wait, $250K for a couple, $170K for a single. That sounds low compared to the $1 million myth.
It does, initially. And Peep acknowledges that inner voice saying, that's not enough, I'll be eating cat food.
So how can that possibly be enough for a comfortable retirement?
Because, invested wisely in those low-cost diversified funds, these amounts can generate a reliable income stream, like a personal pension. Enough, he argues, to fund a good life not extravagant, but comfortable. Think small luxuries, reliable transport, decent holidays, meals out, plus covering emergencies. It's freedom with dignity.
Freedom with dignity. I like that.
Oh.
And he has 3 specific rules to make this work.
Yep. 3 simple, non-negotiable rules for retirement. Rule 1. Keep the banker out UT. Enter retirement completely debt-free. No mortgage, no car loans, and no credit card debt. Don't drag those chains into your golden years.
Okay, debt-free. Rule 2.
Rule 2. Nail your number. Don't stop working or significantly reduce your main income stream until you've actually hit that target, the $250K or $170K invested. That amount is designed to generate income without you needing to deplete the capital too quickly. Hit the target first.
Makes sense. Discipline again.
Yeah.
Let's rule 3. It sounds a bit odd. Never ever withdraw completely.
Yeah, sounds counterintuitive for retirement, doesn't it? But it doesn't mean work full-time forever. It means don't just stop contributing. Keep doing something.
Like what?
Something light, something meaningful. Maybe work 1 day a week doing something you enjoy. Turn a hobby into a small side business. Consult part-time. Share skills online.
Why? Just for the money.
Partly, earning even a modest extra income, say $20,000 a year, can significantly boost your retirement lifestyle. But it's also about staying engaged, active, purposeful, good for the mind, good for the soul. Retirement shouldn't be about stopping living. It's about redesigning how you live.
And Ted Rita's story shows this is possible, even starting late.
Absolutely. 5 years before retirement, they only had $40,000 saved, no investments, felt totally unprepared, scared.
What changed?
They found Barefoot, followed the steps rigorously. Buckets, Mojo, consistent low-cost investing. Now, they're stepping into retirement, having hit their $250,000 investment target. And it's still growing. Fear replaced by gratitude.
That clarity is everything, isn't it? Knowing your number makes a scary future feel achievable. Then you can actually harvest the freedom you've worked for. 3.3, leave a legacy. The wealth of a life well lived.
And that brings us to the final step. The deepest one, really. Step 9. Leave a legacy.
This isn't about money anymore, is it? This is about something else entirely.
Completely. It shifts the focus to how you want to be remembered. When all's said and done, what really matters. Pape argues it's not the house size or the car brand.
It's the impact you had, the lives you touched.
Exactly. Kindness shown, contribution made. That's the enduring stuff.
And he uses the story of Janupati Jagadish, the scientist, as an example.
A really powerful one. Born into deep poverty in India, his future looked bleak. But a teacher saw his potential.
What did the teacher do?
Went above and beyond, gave him encouragement, a place to stay, helped him get a scholarship. That single act of support changed everything. Jagadish became this world-renowned scientist.
Amazing. But he didn't just stop there, enjoying his success.
No. He remembered that kindness. He chose to pay it forward. He ended up helping nearly 1,000 women escape poverty.
1,000 women. How? Was he secretly a billionaire?
Not at all. That's the key point. He did it using the same principles as Barefoot. Use what you have wisely, with purpose. He used platforms like kiva.org, making small microloans.
Microloans, like $25.
Sometimes, yeah. Tiny amounts that allow someone to start a small business, buy tools, feed their family, educate their kids. It's not charity, it's empowerment, creating ripples of change. It shows you don't need vast wealth to make a huge difference.
So legacy isn't about donating millions. It's about using what you have, time, skills, kindness, even small amounts of money intentionally.
Exactly. And it starts in everyday life. It's the patience you show your kids, the love for your partner, respect for elders, kindness to strangers, compassion for colleagues, generosity when someone's truly in need.
Those small, everyday acts build the real legacy.
That's what Pape argues. Long after possessions fade, how you made people feel, the positive ripples you started, that's what remains. Money buys security, comfort, a foundation. But legacy, that's built from love, service, contribution.
The ultimate harvest. The wealth of a life well lived. Outro. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Scott Pape's The Barefoot Investor. We've covered those 9 simple but really powerful steps. It's a whole journey, isn't it?
It really is. Planting those financial seeds with intention, growing your wealth patiently, and then finally, harvesting a life that's genuinely rich in freedom, security, and purpose.
Thinking back to Scott Pape watching his house burn. That moment of understanding. I understand. It wasn't just about loss.
No, it was about realizing true security comes from a plan, a structure, something resilient that you build, not something you just hope for. That's what the Barefoot Path offers.
So just to quickly recap for everyone listening, you've learned how to set up those buckets. Blow, Mojo, grow, giving every dollar a job.
How to domino your debts, breaking free from those chains, using psychology to your advantage.
How to build your mojo into that 3-month fortress, giving you real peace of mind and options.
How to supercharge wealth simply through low-cost, consistent investing, letting compound interest work its magic.
We saw that retirement doesn't need a scary $1 million number, just clarity, an achievable target, and discipline.
And finally, that the deepest wealth comes from the legacy you build through kindness and contribution.
It's clear the Barefoot Investor isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. It's more like a sustainable rhythm for life.
Exactly. Plant, grow, harvest, leading to peace of mind, freedom of choice, a life on your terms.
So the big question for you listening now is, well, will you take that first step?
Will you schedule that barefoot date night? Maybe get out the scissors for that credit card. Start building that initial $2,000 mojo. Begin your own journey barefoot towards a future where money serves you.
It won't always be easy. Change rarely is. But the potential reward, it seems immense. Financial freedom isn't just about the numbers.
No, it's about waking up knowing you're safe, secure, free to choose, free to live your life.
And that's a kind of wealth no fire, no bank, no crisis can ever truly take away.
Well said.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive here on the Bookmind channel.
It's been a great discussion.
If you found this helpful or inspiring, please do like this video, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to our channel, The Bookmind. That way you won't miss our next deep dive.